Good evening. Gotta make sure that my microphone's correct here. Um, as stated, again, this time I'm going to the Epstein Files, but going to do a little bit more of a specific search focus, just kind of based on some other videos I've done. Um, but first, uh, as is probably known by now, there was a shooting of a couple National Guardsmen in DC today. They're in critical condition, and it is obviously a great tragedy that this happened. Uh, there's no rhyme or reason or anything that can be said, and I am not. I've heard a lot. I mean, every time something like this happens, you hear a lot like thoughts and prayers, and our thoughts are with them. Um, and it just seems very trite to me at times. It's thoughtless. It's a toss away thing. It's something you say when you really don't know what to say. And I've always thought it's well, again, it's a shallow response to an awful situation, or the pain that someone is going through. Like the families of these two National Guardsmen are going through hell right now, and the last thing I truly believe it's like the last thing that would bring them comfort is to hear some talking head anywhere, be it YouTube, be it CNN, be it MSNBC, Fox News, Newsmax, News Nation, um, saying our thoughts and prayers are with them. I, to me, I just don't see that as being a comfort at all. Um, most of us have lost someone in our lives, and just ask yourself, when you did someone saying our thoughts are with you ever make you feel even like an iota better? And I'm not excuse me. I while I am a, I wouldn't say religious person. I do believe, but I do not believe in organized religion. So that's another thing on the whole thoughts and prayers. Certainly, my prayers are with them. Um, it is beyond awful what happened to them, and I do pray. Um, so I will certainly do so for them and their families. I just don't think a thoughts and prayers kind of situation is adequate enough to explain just how wrong this is, because these are these are normal people. The National Guard are just normal people. They have everyday jobs. They leave their jobs to get called up to do this. They're not standing military. They don't. They were deployed to DC and left their jobs, their friends, their people to go there. And this awful thing happens to them. It's just, you can't, it's very difficult to make sense of. And like I said, I don't think thoughts and prayers adequately plumbs the depths of the unfairness of the whole thing. And so I'll just say how much of a tragedy it is. I hope they have the best doctors. I'm sure everything that can be done is being done for them, and I hope that they pull through. I will pray that they pull through. Yeah, it's a tough one, and I'm just gonna throw up here on screen on stage, um, kind of some live updates from that. Um, Obviously, Um, they're from West Virginia. Um, and they are in critical condition, two separate hospitals. The U.S. authorities believe that the shooter is from Afghanistan and came to the United States in 2021. They the suspect has been identified as Ramanullah Lakanwal, and he applied for asylum in 2024. Um, his asylum was granted by the Trump administration in April of 2025. And in response to this, the Trump administration is sending 500 additional National Guardsmen into DC. So that's, hey, it is what it is, right? Um, Unlike other places, I think DC is definitely some place where he can do that. Um, from some justification. So it's, again, I hope that this is an isolated incident. This is not something that will happen again. Um, and I hope the two National Guardsmen pull through. For the shooter, my hypocrisy knows no bounds. I will definitely pray for the National Guardsmen. For the shooter, yeah, not so much. I understand he's in a hospital as well. What happens, happens, man. Now, we shall pivot from that um, and go into the Epstein files yet again. They give me a headache, and they're quite honestly awful. Like, there's nothing good in these things, and the people. What gets me really the most about a little bit about the Epstein files is not just their awfulness. It is also, to a certain extent, the idea that a lot of these prominent people that are in these files know what he has done when they're just casually emailing him for dating advice um, on how to, Larry, I think it's Larry Summers, is in there writing emails back asking Jeffrey Epstein how to basically score with a coworker, or not even a coworker. It's one of his students or something like that, which is just sick. It's just absolutely sick. Sorry, I didn't have my main light on, but um, it is that is the problem with going through these emails and these Epstein files, is that it just goes from just the banality of evil, right? Which is just, these are evil people discussing just normal, everyday, puerile stuff. And it's disgusting. And it absolutely, I mean, and some of these things, they're so poorly written, it honestly gives me a headache. That's why, that's why I think I did 3 nights, and then I'm like, yeah, I cut the last one short because I just trying to decipher the semi gibberish, just flat out gave me a headache. And it's just, hey, these are the Epstein files. But this night, I want to go in with a focus. Um, if you've looked at my channel, I've been doing some live reactions on the Nick Fuentes Tucker Carlson interview. And frankly, I think I've said in the previous video, like, Nick Fuentes is rather tame. If the Tucker Carlson video were the first time I was hearing Nick Fuentes, I would be inclined not to think he's this evil little monster. However, I have listened to Nick Fuentes for many years now, and beyond the casual, and I, yeah, it's misogyny, but it's not even like a, it's like this dude from suburban Chicago who knows nothing next to nothing. He's got he's had no job other than online provocateur, and somehow he's a he's a white supremacist. Um, he wants to repeal the Civil Rights Act. He believes women shouldn't have rights as well. That they shouldn't own property. That women shouldn't have bank accounts. Like we need to go to like 1960s, 1950s, if not further. I think I did hear on one, and it was not just an isolated incident, but at least on one video with him, he actually started discussing how women shouldn't have the right to vote, and it was an isolated incident. This is like a belief of his. So that being said, um, I'm going to do a bit of a search, more of a focus on the Epstein files because um, I think somewhat all these people crawl out from the same cesspool. I think if you're in some fashion, if you think you're above someone else, um, it's not too far a leap from women can't own property and women can't have bank accounts and men should be superior and white people should be superior to it's not that far a leap from there to Epstein. I know they're totally different things. I get it. I can already hear people in their heads going, "Those are totally not the same." But realistically, it's about power and control. Fundamentally, that's what it is. That's what Epstein practiced: power and control. He blackmailed his victims. We believe that some of that will be coming out soon. I'd also like to point out there are other countries that have the Epstein files. So I really hope that the other countries, when they are released, will fill in the gaps, if there are any. I'm not saying that there will be, but if there are any gaps, I hope that other countries do fill them in because other countries do have these records. Um, that being said, let's hop into it. The focus tonight, I am going to be focusing on Israel. Um, Jeffrey Epstein is reported to have done a lot of his dirty on behalf of the country of Israel. My personal belief is it's a little bit more Russia. Really, there's a lot of Russia involvement, but again, that's just me. I know there's a lot of people that are right on board the Israel Mossad train, the CIA train, and certainly that's um, a totally valid belief at this point. One thing I do know, pretty much, I think everybody can agree on at this point is fucker didn't kill himself. I mean, I'm not going to shed any tears over the result, but yeah, he for sure didn't kill himself. Not even. All right, so here is the searchable database. And I know there's Michael Wolff, Bill Clinton, Barack Obama, Jeffrey. They searched Jeffrey Epstein on Jeffrey Epstein. That's crazy. But we're going to roll on in here. Yeah, it's coffee. What else does a non drinker do on the biggest party night of the year? Drinks coffee and live streams Epstein emails. That's what they do. Now, we're going to start out here with oh, let's just start here with the easy one, right? Okay. House oversight. Okay, so a lot of these are articles that Jeffrey Epstein had or emailed to somebody. I try to search for when I'm doing these. I really do try to search for the actual emails or text messages that are going back and forth. Um, so if you're watching this after the live, when it gets posted to my page, that's kind of what I'm doing. Um, Searching through here and just trying to find um, the actual like text messages or emails. And while we're going on, and while we're on the subject, um, in the replies on a previous video, there was a little bit of a kind of, I wouldn't say back and forth, but this idea that Israel is not a theocracy. Okay, the official state religion of Israel is Judaism. You have to be a practicing member of Judaism in order to hold office, in order to be part of their government, in order to be prime minister. So it is, while it is not ruled by rabbis, so it's not. I guess I wouldn't say it is a strict theocracy. It is a religious state. It has an official religion. You have to be a member of that religion in order to hold office. Um, so in that fashion, it's theocracy light, I guess I would say. I'm sure there's a technical term for it. I just don't happen to know it. But again, I'm also the guy that butchered the religio et regio quote the other night. So, hey, mea culpa, whatever. I didn't take Latin. I'm from the Midwest. We didn't have all those fancy East Coast, West Coast private schools that taught Latin and shit. Okay, this seems to be a. Okay, so I don't think this is much relevant on anything, to be frank. Um, okay, so he was sending this to someone. Why Israel is wrong about Iran. Wonder why he sent that. So this seems to be a collection of articles. Um, Ian Bremer. Holy crap! I haven't heard that name. I haven't seen that name in a long time. Is he still kicking around? Ian Bremer. What's he doing these days? He's on X. Yeah, he's still kicking around. President of the Eurasia Group. Shocker. Okay. Man, how many hits did this get? 1 through 100 of 221. So there's 221 documents in here mentioning Israel. So when I think it's been explained that when these long ass documents are found in the Epstein documents or data dump, these are documents he had on his computer or that he emailed to someone. So he's a very interesting guy. Uh, hold on. Here we go. Like I said, I really try to dig into where the actual emails are. And right off the bat, right from the jump, an email to Jeffrey Epstein from Ehud Barak in 2017. Again, that is the one thing about these that is just sickening is that a lot of these emails and communications are happening after his arrest, after it is known that he was a PDF file. It's crazy. It is the moral bankruptcy on a lot of these people is, and I don't care who they are. Like, you know what he is at this point. Steve Bannon, perfect example. Steve Bannon knew who the hell Epstein was. He knew what he was doing. He knew what he was like cut a deal about. And yet Steve Bannon's more than happy to take his money, his advice, and everything else. And as long as we don't broadcast it, help me, you know, build this machine. And it's in these files. Bannon was, or Epstein was Bannon's backer. Yeah, so right here, Ehud Barak, right from the top. Adam Pasha shared a link where sex with Maria Israel joins trend with welcome video for Trump. Nice. Let's see, what is this? Oh, so this would have been a share from a Twitter post. Interestingly enough, sorry about that. I'm not much on the moderation tools at this point. Okay, so Ehud Barak. Oh, this looks interesting. Okay, questioned by Edwards about plane passengers who might have witnessed Epstein in the company of young girls. Vasoki, his private pilot, admitted Bill Clinton, Prince Andrew, former Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Barak, former Colombian President Andres Pastrana Arango, Obama economic advisor Larry Summers, billionaire Burkle, and actors Kevin Spacey and Chris Tucker had been on board the plane while young girls were present. Huh. Okay, let's see here. This one looks interesting. Can't stand, honestly, can't stand the Clintons. Okay, that's really a nothing burger on that one. Okay, what Ehud Barak is in here quite a bit, obviously. But going back to Bill Clinton, I know he's in these files quite a bit. That's fine. I'm not a big Clinton fan. I grew up in the '90s. I love the '90s. I think the '90s were great, but a lot of the a lot of the dirty, a lot of the dirty that was done in the '90s, we're living with today. China would not be China today if it were not for Clinton and uh, what he did for China, and then what he continued to do for China after he was president. What is this? Trump drinks Israel. Trump Development Services. Trump drinks Israel Holdings. Trump. Oh, okay. Yeah. So Epstein had Trump's financial disclosures, I guess. I've seen these a lot. I'm not sure I mean, they're in here. So the only thing I can think of is this is a holdover, or Epstein was still his financial advisor in some fashion to have access to those, which is interesting in and of itself, but not really, doesn't really mean much in the grand scheme of things. He seemed to be very interested in like special, like kind of fringe science a little bit. Okay, here we go. Oh, to Jeffrey Epstein. What Iran nuke deal means for Israel. Ehud Barak. Importance high. Hi, Jeff. Bill Clinton, 1994. Food for thought. Ehud Barak. Um, man, I wonder if this link still works. Oh, that'd be kind of crazy if this link from Ehud Barak to Jeffrey Epstein is still no, not available. Yeah, it was too much to hope for, right? What is this? Oh, is this a transcript of the Trump Hillary debate? Oh, this is just a made up shit. Although it could be interesting. I'm not a Hillary fan either. Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton are in a bar. Donald leans over and with a smile on his face says, "The media are really tearing you apart for that scandal." Even am I lying about Benghazi? No, the other one. I mean, the massive voter fraud. I'll give her this on the Benghazi thing. I know it's Benghazi, Benghazi, Benghazi. We spent millions of dollars. Lord knows how how many oversight committees and everything else over Benghazi. We've had hardly any about 9/11, but that's a whole nother thing. Um, but Benghazi was Benghazi. I mean, movies been written about it. We know what happened. Um, Hillary did go in there and sit for 8, 9, 10 hours and let them ask every question they possibly could, and nothing really came. I mean, again Benghazi, Benghazi, Benghazi. I get it. You mean the massive voter fraud? You mean the military not getting their votes counted? Using my secret private server with classified. That's honestly kind of freaking hilarious given the signal chats and everything else they're using in the current administration and Trump too. This is just ironic. The DOJ spying on the press. Yeah, okay. All right, so that was an email forward. Gotta love those. Okay, here's some email, text messages. Israel, MIT, moving patient data messy, blockchain help. Seems like folks are trying. The future of blockchain. This is one of the other World Economic Forum councils. Could ask them. No one on council very clever. Who is that? Okay, it's not really saying who that's from or to. Gates relate middle class America. Okay, so this is Epstein front. Okay, so he's the sender in this one from his iTunes account. Nice. Seems like a lot of thinking already underway. It still feels a little abstract for the average American. Need to make this real to average person and also to Congress. I think this is related to crypto and blockchain. Just use the term privacy of your health info. Oh, yes. Only you have the key. So it's putting your medical records on a blockchain. Gotcha. Understood. Even though, I mean, let's face it, quantum computing is going to make the blockchain obsolete here in another 4 or 5 years. Um, Again, China is the leader in that. Thanks, Clinton. Do you think Trump will come down hard on Gates taxes soon, or can he wait till I'm done there? Huh. Yes, encryption, signal processing, using the best methods to keep your health info secret, at the same time helping the country cure disease. How do I write a short terms of reference? Health and medical technologies. I see Bill Friday. Really want to wait and talk to him before sending Larry. Terms of reference, but he is insisting I send sooner. Huh. Bill. Wow. Oh, Bill Gates. He's talking about Bill Gates. I'm so dumb. I got on the Bill Clinton train and never left the tracks on that. My guess is that he will hold me to every single word. So I need to be strategic and also somewhat flexible, since it's hard to know how things will work if you have some time. Maybe think of the deliverables that would be useful and something to be proud of. I'll work on the rest since he wants me to circle back with all the Microsoft and Foundation leaders too. Okay, so Epstein was pitching Bill Gates on medical records in the blockchain. How nice. Again, this is 2017. Everybody at Microsoft knew what he was. What? Who are these people? Either a version of blockchain encryption. So he's trying to set up a private medical records company with Microsoft using blockchain. This is this is just nuts. This is just it's just like I'm not a Bill Gates fan by any means. I think Microsoft was one of the first kind of quote untouchable tech companies that needed to be broken up a long time ago. I mean, it is a anti-competitive company, um, but we've become very risk averse in enforcing our anti-monopoly laws in this country to the point where they're essentially meaningless. antitrust law. Microsoft and Bill Gates fighting the antitrust laws of breaking up Microsoft are probably the first cracks in the, you know, fixing capitalism dam that is now totally gone. Or as Bernie Sanders would say, the oligarchy. Okay, so this is still, we're still in the, oh, fuck it. Let's just type in Ehud Barak. Oh, no, no, no. More fun. Netanyahu. That should be more interesting. These are truly kind of like, these aren't even the awful ones. And they're still just so. Oh, Dershowitz. Dershowitz. Land deals. Talking about land deals. Oh, this is interesting. What is this? More about Hillary. This isn't like great. This is about Hillary's tenure as Secretary of State. Very interesting. Uh, I know there were emails. I know he sent text messages talking about Netanyahu. I mean, maybe it was Bibi. Do I need to search Bibi? What is this? One of my men? Huh. Nope. Oh, geez. Zeitlin. Unfortunately, Ben Sulayem and I did not meet. I was stuck at the White House, and he had a narrow window before heading to Cyprus. I sent him the following note: Good morning. Hope your travels to Cyprus were smooth. Oki Enalama, Nigeria's trade minister, stopped by my home this evening as he was still in town after Buhari's visit with Trump. He mentioned his discussions with you at World Economic Forum, and afterwards, separately, I spoke earlier with the vice president. Whenever we meet, I have some thoughts that may be helpful to you. Epstein wrote, so this is from Jide Zeitlin, and then Epstein responded. He is Karaman of Dubai World Ports, where African Ports' new focus. He built the Palm Islands, is totally trustworthy. Thank you for the introduction. Do you have a better sense of what he needs? Also, what's his WhatsApp mobile so I can confirm details for today? When's best on Friday for me to visit with you? Maybe speech was a bit of a dead letter on Europe. Please note the information contained. Yeah. Okay. I know I saw some emails and stuff. Here we go. More text messages. Who is this? Send your preferred times directive to Jabor. Not too shabby. Who's he? Sender's Epstein. Message: when can you leave Scotland? 7 p.m. tonight. That was Epstein. I have them organizing transport. No worry. We would leave tonight, correct? How does it feel to have the most highly paid travel agent in history? Send your preferred times directly to Jabor. Who's Jabor? Not too shabby. On another note, instead of economic nationalism doesn't care about your race, ethnicity, etc., people here doesn't care. And it sounds paternalistic. It cares if you are a citizen and that is it. It doesn't matter if you are. Short notice for jet charter, but confined for tomorrow morning to Paris, lunch in Paris, and then fly you to wherever. Done. Email Jabor passports for jet company. What a life. Yeah. What a fucking life, right? Pieces of shit. I don't even know. Wow, this guy farther right. New York Times. Avigdor Lieberman, Israel. Wow, this guy farther right than Bibi. I'm a fan. Chessboard will become even more interesting. I'll give you more face to face. Oh, that's interesting. House Oversight 027467. That photo is huge. I was in the military side by side with blacks, Hispanics, races, ethnicities working together. Economic nationalism is not racist, not violent. ISIS and their defeat, the deplorable fighting side by side to make the country safe. Do you know what all the soldiers have in common? Do you? They are citizens. They are not undocumented citizens. They are not illegal citizens. They are bound together to protect each other. I said if the left refuses to engage on policy but resorts to calling our men and women racist, etc., I said where the name calling is a badge of honor, where the evidence of a bankrupt policy. The scraping of the bottom of the left's empty barrel only left to hurl insults. I abhor the Pittsburgh massacre. I abhor the killing of the young black men in Chicago. These are our citizens. What it is not. Have fun, Torm. Oh, so Jeffrey Epstein was a big. Uh, Michael Avenatti. He sent them. I know. Why do I know this name? Michael Avenatti. Just got done searching Ian Brummer. I need to disinfect my browser. Michael. Yep. Avenatti arrested for domestic violence. Who was he? He was the. Yeah. Uh, convicted of extortion. He was arrested for domestic assault, convicted of extortion, communications with intent to extort, wire fraud, obstruction, aggravated identity theft. But why? Why was he? Oh, oh yeah, yes. Oh yeah, he was. Yeah, Stormy Daniels' lawyer. That's who Michael Avenatti is. That's why. Okay, now I know. Oh, jeez. Huh. You can ask HBJ regarding his diet. He just lost 25 pounds. He is proud of that. Incredible meeting. Thanks. We'll brief in person. You did very, very good. Are you going to be in London at all or straight to Oxford? London tonight, leave for Oxford at 2. Wait a minute. Oh, okay. Now I know who he's talking about. Who he's talking to. Steve Bannon. Awesome. We're back to those. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's see, there's Ehud Barak, Bibi Netanyahu, Israel. I think he was in oh shit. Let's just fucking why not? Huh. So Tel Aviv comes up quite a bit. He traveled there quite a lot. Um, oh, what about Mossad? I mean, I seriously doubt he's just going to come out and be like, "Yeah, I was working with Mossad on any of this." So it seems kind of silly, but at the same time, he's a piece of shit. So who knows? And honestly, a lot of his stuff is not that. He's not a great writer, honestly, but he does seem to have quite a bit of information and shit. I just can't. I mean, it's a holiday weekend, and I just can't handle any of the other searches. So I'm gonna stick with this. Not too much is coming up. Mitt Romney, Mitt Romney, Mitt Romney, Mitt Romney. So here's a little bit of an aside, and nah, we'll go. We'll do that later. Oh, Fareed Zakaria article. Isn't that shocking? Yeah, it's Dershowitz. Just the sheer number of people, like, and it's just all these. A lot of these communications, again, they just happen after he was arrested in Florida, and so these people know what he did. They just don't care. Oh, wait, this is interesting. Oh, no way. Okay, this is. Oh, okay. All right. All right. This might be the last little email chain I read for the night, but it does seem like this one's going to be interesting right here. Um, yeah. Okay. We have a Pritzker in 2016 from Tom Pritzker to Jeffrey Epstein. Cash or in-kind services. Comey knows that Denise needs to pledge 500,000 to foundation. Read an interesting article on why Comey screwed Clinton. Came from Israeli press. Are they talking about the inaugural? Comey knows that Denise needs to pledge. Okay. Read an interesting article on why Comey screwed Clinton. Came from Israeli press. Comey as DA is hunting down Mark Rich to indict him. Mark Rich again? Ehud calls Clinton and says, please pardon Mark Rich. He has done work for Mossad that has been invaluable. Clinton pardons Rich, and Comey has been pissed ever since. Comey got his opening to get even. No idea if this is accurate story. TJP. From Jeffrey to Tom Pritzker. Barack and the boys in PB. Wild, wild. Tom Barrack or Ehud Barak? I'm in Wednesday, Friday. Edelman. Oh, Tom Pritzker. You naughty man. All right, so that would be very interesting. And it actually would make a lot of sense if Mark Rich was doing work for Mossad. To refresh my memory on Mark Rich. Yeah, that's what I thought. He skirted the oil embargo on Iran during the hostage crisis. He was a financier. He died in 2013. Um, yeah, he was an oil trader, commodities and oil trader. And yeah, it would make total sense if he was affiliated with Mossad in Israel. Richard Kahn. Oh, it's a spam email. Got it. I mean, U.S. foreign policy was driven primarily by oil interests, the protection of Israel, and resistance to Soviet aggression. No lies told there. Okay, I think Melanie Spinella. Who is she? Probably not a member of Salt and Pepper. Spinderella. No, nobody caught that. Okay. Lex Wexner, Wexner Foundation Arms Interest. Connected to Leon Black. She is Melanie Spinella is Leon Black's former executive assistant. Refresh my memory on Leon Black. Private equity investor. He's the CEO of Apollo Global Management. I love me some private equity. Yes. Of course, those vulture assholes were somehow involved in this. It had to happen. Just had to. Okay, we are coming up on an hour here. I'm going to cut it off for the night. Frankly, I've got gambling to do, and I'm definitely not going to do that on a live stream. It kill my algorithm. Can't have that. No gambling on the live stream. But I do have some of those things that need to be done, and I think this is a good place to stop. We've got private equity. We've got the Clintons being involved. We've got Mark Rich. Uh, Holy crap. Ehud Barak, Netanyahu. Epstein was all up in the Likud party with Steve Bannon. Steve Bannon keeps popping up on here in the weirdest places. I mean, it's a little interesting that Steve Bannon, again, just keeps showing up in the oddest of places. Why, Steve Bannon? Why are you showing up all over the place? Is there something there? Maybe, maybe not. I do find it interesting that one of the most prominent right wing people, someone that had extensive Russian ties uh, due to good. Before I say this, I'm going to fact check myself. Yes, Steve Bannon was. Yes, Steve Bannon was involved in Cambridge Analytica, uh, which makes total sense. And then he goes to sex trafficker and all around evil person Jeffrey Epstein to finance the extension of Cambridge Analytica. Um, Quite honestly, if you're still like a Steve Bannon supporter or like that's what I don't get on the critical thinking nowadays. It's here you have a guy that knowingly sought the advice and financing of a sex trafficker, blackmailer, um, potentially worked for the CIA, potentially worked for Mossad, potentially Russian intelligence. Uh, and you use him to set up your media group and continue your work in suborning the United States. Because Steve Bannon is a nihilist. He is a burn everything down kind of person. That is who Steve Bannon is. He doesn't hold any particular philosophical belief. He doesn't believe in any specific form of governance or economic philosophy or anything else. He just believes that there is opportunity and chaos, and the way to create the most opportunity is to create the most chaos. I mean, I guess setting yourself up as a warlord in post-apocalyptic United States is a certain level of opportunity. It's not one that most people would want, but I think for Steve Bannon, it might be a kind of thing. Um, but yeah, he's Cambridge Analytica is essentially the prototype for the influence and media influence campaign and social media influence campaign on where we're at today. Yes, Dark Sage. Yes. I mean, yeah, both parties are kind of right into it. Um, Democrats back in the day are not obviously the Democrats of today. Um, I often say Lincoln obviously was very much a liberal. Um, yeah, you're absolutely right, Dark Sage. It is. Um, it's like that Spider-Man, yeah, that Spider-Man meme where it's three different Spider-Mans pointing at each other. Um, they are a lot like that for sure. Um, but yeah, I mean, Bannon is all Bannon's all in there. Clinton's are all in those files, um, and these are at times when he had already been arrested. I mean, this is well after that, and it's just sickening how there's definitely a an upper level of um, our political society that party affiliation means nothing. It's that it, when I say party affiliation means nothing, it means it doesn't matter if you're Republican or Democrat. You're part of this group, and if you are a part of that group, then you know you just float amongst the various in crowds, I guess. Um, I didn't find the emails that I found in a previous search where he's definitely talking about traveling to Tel Aviv and all over the Middle East, kind of cutting deals. I was kind of upset I didn't find that one. I forget the particular search term used to find that. Um, yeah, Cleveland's use of troops in the Pullman strike, FDR around it. Yeah, uh, yeah, yeah. Dark Sages. There's definitely. He was bullied into it by Taft. Well, I mean, to be honest, Teddy Roosevelt is like my favorite president, but um, primarily for the trust busting. I do believe that we have failed in our charge to tend to the garden of capitalism. Yeah, Eisenhower's great. Yeah, I mean, when you get into like a small government kind of um, president, Eisenhower is top notch. Uh, Teddy Roosevelt is mine. I don't go in for the American imperialism stuff, but I do think his efforts to put forth the United States on the world stage um, kind of really were it was a necessary thing for sure. And the trust busting, that's probably me. My biggest thing with Teddy Roosevelt, I think he was a member of that group, and so he couldn't be bought. A parallel I have today is actually J.B. Pritzker, and I honestly don't think J.B. Pritzker will make it. I don't think he'll make it through the primary cycle and the election cycle, but I do think it'll take that kind of mentality to do the necessary trust busting and cartel breaking to fix the economic system in this country. I'm not. I don't ascribe to um, kind of the AOC Bernie levels of kind of socialism. I do see where it's coming from, but uh, again, I think we can manage it without that by just applying the laws that are in the books and breaking up a lot of these companies that have taken over industries. I happen to work in an industry where there's two companies that own 80% of the market. I mean, that was never the intent. But it's sort of like with the 2007 banking crisis. We just decided the Obama administration just kind of decided it's easier to regulate and look over 20 banks than it is to look over 20,000. So let's just whittle it down to 20. Yeah. Dark Sage. Thanks for actually saying that. I'm actually, in case someone watches this later, I'm gonna put this on. I'm gonna actually show this on the stream because I think this is a very good point when people are discussing history. Um, that too often people try to wedge our current beliefs, morals, and values into a time period, and really you can't. Um, like you say there, they were products of their time. Absolutely, absolutely. Trying to hold them up to the same to trying to hold them up to a standard that we have today is just a massive error. It's kind of like this idea that I hear I've heard I, the founding fathers were white landowning aristocratic racists and everything else, but um, that's totally discounting what they were for their time period. They were radical liberals. They were. I mean, the founding fathers to the rest of Europe would have been like, I don't even know a modern parallel. I mean, I guess an AOC or a Bernie, but they were radical liberals, the most radical of liberals. They were trying to invent a whole new system of government that, in a world where monarchy and the best you could hope for is benevolent dictator, benevolent monarch, good king. That was kind of the best you could hope for as far as a system of government, was that the king wouldn't be too bad, and hopefully he wouldn't go insane later on in life and really become bad. And so the founding fathers of the United States, I think, when viewed of their time, were insanely liberal. Of course, when you put a lens on them of today, of course not, they weren't. But that's why I appreciate what you said there. They were products of their time. Absolutely. Imperialism by the United States wasn't. Yeah, I mean, we tamed the frontier, and we're a nation at that point, a very dynamic nation that needed new frontiers. So yeah, I can totally see how um, you could get into the imperialism was inevitable. Yeah, yeah. I think the immigration thing. It's kind of funny to me because I watched a video with a guy who was railing against immigration and how uh, we needed to have no immigration and immigrants steal jobs and everything else. And the guy's last name was Irish, and it honestly just the irony of it all nearly made my head explode. Oh, that's great, history major. I like that. That's cool. Yes, of course, because I mean, you learn from. I mean, it does sound awful to say, but yeah, we likely would have probably supported it. I mean, honestly, it was a popular sentiment, and um, we kind of go with the morals of the time. Yeah, so the public wanted imperialism. Yeah, I mean that goes right in line with yellow journalism, and uh, I've heard some statements like media can never get us like, oh, the media is awful today, and media doesn't. Yeah, well, I mean, there were times in our past where the media was way worse and easily got us into wars. and other things, because there was no journalistic integrity, there were no journalistic standards. I mean, I think there's probably scant ones today as well, but yeah, I think the point is, when you look at the country and how polarized it is, and the fracture of the media, uh, media capture by kind of the Trump administration, we've been here before. We'll get through it. I mean, we have history to guide us that we can get through it. Um, so yeah, and I'm going to go off live here. I appreciate Dark Sage. I really appreciate your comments. It's really cool that you're a history major. I history is my favorite my favorite subtopic, and I had some really great professors in college too. So um, yeah, that's an awesome story. My father is was heavily Republican. Um, as was I for most of my life. I still consider myself. I mean, I don't. I'm really kind of without a party at this point because the Republican Party's gone so far to the right that I'm not even close to it. But my grandparents were farm family, and it was Democrats all the way. I mean, FDR, uh, that all those farm families and everything else. A lot of they're old school Democrats, and maybe you could look this. Maybe you could look this up, and it might be interesting for you because I remember Eisenhower actually had his choice. He was going to win the presidency. He was going to win the presidency no matter what, whether he was a Democrat or Republican, and both parties were courting him, and he chose the Republicans. Uh, no, Dark Sage. Here. Uh, I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. I don't. I I have heard and I've said in some of my videos. I don't care what party, who it was, what what they have meant to our culture in the past. If it's Bill Gates, it's Bill Gates. Arrest his ass. It's Bill Clinton. Arrest his ass. Um, hell, I mean, if it were Barack Obama, I don't think it's Barack Obama is involved at all. But if it were Barack Obama, I mean, yeah, frog march him down the Washington Memorial. I mean, I think that's the difference. Is like you have the Republican Party doing kind of anything they can, with some exceptions and some notable exceptions of honorable people. But you have the Republican Party doing everything they can to prevent the release of the files because why? I mean, I think it's universal. Most people want to see them, so just release the files. All right. Well, I'm taking off for the night. Thanks, Dark Sage. Thanks for the comments. I really appreciate it, and I'll see y'all later. Have a good night. Happy Thanksgiving. And I haven't seen any updates, but I hope those two National Guardsmen in DC are okay. I really do. Uh, I'll pray for them tonight. I don't do the thoughts and prayers thing. See the beginning of the video, but good night, everybody.